back. And so the Marvel Cinematic Universe people also released the first teaser trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is a movie I think it's fair to say we did not know a ton about. Brittany, you and they were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't think things were many things which were rumored seem to be actually true regarding Namor, Atlantis, and stuff like that. So if it's okay, I thought we'd just watch this trailer because I think it's really quite special, and I will share it and feel free to talk. I'm a big fan of No Woman No Cry, the song, so this I thought was
it's a beautiful cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I teared up at the beginning for sure.
This looks amazing.
Oh, this song just gets me every time. I think that's why I watch it like 80 times.
Yeah. Good friends we've lost.
Love her. Oh my God. I just love them.
The Queen. That shot right there with
that one made me,
that one got me. Yeah.
This one too.
Do we think that's Namor being born? Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be.
Yeah, because he's got the little wings.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the little wings. Good eye.
Yes, I've watched
It's
this
like-
trailer.
Holy
multiple
crow,
times.
what's going on there?
Is this Atlanta supposed to be like a little bit of Aztec culture?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is some scary shit
Armor
that's
and stuff.
happening. It's just, we can sort of infer what's happening. We don't really like they're
Yeah.
discovering Atlantis.
Oh,
Is that Riri?
Riri.
That's Ironheart, huh?
Yep.
Oh, this
Baby
is so
Namor,
cool.
big Namor.
The only line spoken in this whole trailer are Angela Bassett's right here.
Yeah.
Mhm. And she just
Killed it.
That like hurt. Oh, that hurts.
Knocking out the armor.
Oh, Michaela Cole. I'm so excited for her.
This looks great.
It was so good. The costuming alone is just
very
perfect.
Miss Ruth Carter. She's just
So good.
Woo!
that. I feel like I know who that is in that suit, but I don't know.
Speculate away.
The music.
I think they're gonna find a way to bring Killmonger back, and it's
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. How about that?
That trailer is amazing. Like, honestly, and I know that it's not going to happen because Kevin Feige is nothing if not some relentless and going to force you to see this in multiple trailers. But this should be the only trailer they release until the movie. Like, that's good enough.
Yeah. No, I mean, in my opinion, it does these very interesting things because since the first thing we've seen of this movie, like this first substantial thing, it has to, I mean, it first has to have this collective moment of like recognizing that one of the star actors passed away tragically, and also do the thing of then announcing that there's this big Marvel movie coming, and also do the thing of not telling us who Black Panther is or isn't, because that's one of the big NDA secrets of the story. And I think it really does all those things in 2 minutes, aided mainly by a great song. So that was what I thought. That's why I think it's just like a really great piece of editing. Well, what do you all think about that?
I remember literally, I think a couple weeks ago, people were literally talking about like, we haven't heard nothing about the Black Panther movie. Is it even coming? Like, what's going on? Like, the only thing we'd heard about was just like a little bit of drama on set with certain actors not wanting to get vaccinated and stuff. And so like, I was like, maybe it got shelved. I don't know. And then when the trailer dropped, I was like, oh my God. I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think I was expecting that. And I wasn't expecting like the Atlantis versus, that's just like really, it's kind of hard to like vocalize because like the Black Panther movie meant so much to so many people. Chadwick Boseman stuff hit a lot of people hard, and it's kind of still hard to talk about. And like just seeing them react, and like even on the panel when they were like hugging each other and they like seemed so emotional, I was just like, it's hard for me to like look forward to it, even though I'm very excited about it, because it is closing the chapter on something that wasn't supposed to be closed so soon. And it's like, it makes me like very emotional. And it was beautifully put together. And Kendrick curated the last soundtrack for the last movie. So I'm like hoping he does it again, because he like the song, the music and the styling and the costuming alone is what puts Black Panther in that above the rest, I think.
Yes.
Because it's just so uniquely them. It's so uniquely Wakanda. And then the fact that they're bringing in Atlantis and bringing in another culture that's another lost culture, like Aztec culture, only kept alive by the tribes that are still left in Mexico. And like, that's huge. That's just like, it's just beautiful the way that the attention to detail, and the last shot of whoever's in that Black Panther suit, like that's going to be the single most talked about thing, whoever it is and whatever it is, people are going to be talking about that one for that's a big thing, like the recast T'Challa movie versus leave his memory alone. Like people want to know who's going to be the next Black Panther. So it did everything to make me like so thrilled about the movie. I didn't even know was still happening. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to be in developmental hell just because of like I had said when me and Nate talked about it a few weeks ago, because we were covering some of the art that leaked from Essence, or like the Essence Fest art of like Neymar and all that stuff. I was just saying, like, you know, I feel like one of the downfalls of The Rise of Skywalker was not giving the cast and crew enough time to grieve and deal with Carrie's death, and then like trying to like still put her in the movie and using old parts from like other deleted scenes. Like I feel like unfortunately that hindered a lot of the movie. And it's not to say that I, of course, like wouldn't want them to kill off Princess Leia, like that's not what you want, but I feel like the movie was hindered by trying to still work Carrie into the film, unfortunately. And I feel like maybe that's a criticism that Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler and everyone else were like, we, you know, I think it's sad, we don't want to, but we have to kill T'Challa. Like, you know, it is sad, and it's going to make it even harder because Chadwick is no longer with us. That seeing that is going to not, I already know I'm going to be crying throughout that movie, but I don't know. Like we talked about, maybe there's a chance for a multiversal T'Challa, because there's still so many people who want T'Challa as Black Panther. And I feel like, again, the best way is just a multiversal one taking over, you know. I feel like that's the best way to navigate that, at least.
Yeah, this trailer was a little pulling back the curtain on my night last night. So I worked from 11 to 8 last night, got home and had to do a 2-hour show talking about Vince McMahon resigning from the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
And so then like about 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, I'm just like, oh yeah, let me catch up on what happened at Comic-Con. And so I'm checking stuff out. And I get a text like, hey, have you seen the Black Panther trailer yet? I'm like, nah. So I go on and I'm stuck in my seat for like 2 minutes. This was everything that I wanted from this trailer. Like you said, Vanessa, like we have all like just been wondering what's going on with this film. We knew the stuff about, the anti-vaccine on the set, and we knew like, Ryan had to do some reconfiguring of the script after Chadwick's passing, but we didn't like what were we gonna get? And the fact that this trailer sets the tone of respect, but also we're going to move forward. Like these characters have to move forward. They're heartbroken, but they have to remain hopeful. And I think you hit on it, Vanessa, that music. The fact that start with the cover of No Woman, No Cry, and then Kendrick, we gonna be all right. Almost like a mantra, not only to the characters on the screen, but to us as the audience. Like, hey, everybody, we know it's kind of rough. We know this movie gonna be emotional without Chad, but we gonna be all right. And this franchise is gonna be all right. And I think just, taking the emotion away from it for a second, just as a fan of these movies, visually, this was great. Like, I think one of the only criticisms that I think you can make on that first Black Panther is maybe some of the effects didn't quite hit the way they were supposed to. Those whales looked real. Like I ain't never been next to a real whale, those whales look real. You know, the way Namor looked, the way the Atlanteans look,
he looks so good.
And seeing Riri, you know, I'm excited for this, man. I think I was always going to be excited for Black Panther 2, but I think there was always kind of this cloud, you know, maybe like Vanessa was talking about, where I'm going to watch it, but I'm not excited about it because I know it means the end of a chapter. But this trailer felt more like a celebration of life, like to Chadwick and also to T'Challa and what he meant to these people. And Angela Bassett. Like, I don't know Britney. I don't know how Hollywood works. I ain't never been to Hollywood. I don't know if you can win an Oscar off of 10 seconds. But the way she delivered that line, like, I have lost my entire family. I have given you everything. Like, I was already choked up when she said that. I was like, you know what? I can't even be on the internet no more tonight. I need to be alone with my emotions and process what we just watched on this trailer. But I loved it, man. I think it was the right way to kind of close out Marvel's presentation. You know, we learned that it's going to be the film that closes out Phase 4, and you know, Phase 4 has had its ups and downs, but damn, I think they're going out on a high note.
Yeah, I agree. Just visually, like we've said, it's great. The costuming is beautiful. I'm glad that it looks like it's still Ruth's work. It better be. She won an Oscar for it. You know, it looks really great. And yeah, it's like you said, it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster, but I think that this is gonna be the best movie of the Phase 4 so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that another point on the Kendrick Lamar's using of that song is actually like goes really deep, because when we were doing in 2020 when we were doing George Floyd protests, that song was everywhere. People were chanting it in the crowds, particularly black protesters were like, we're gonna be all right. And that's something that I think resonates so much, because Black people in America all over constantly going through tragedies after tragedies, losing people. And so when we lose an actor like Chadwick, it's like like it hurts, like because it's like there's not a whole lot of us like him, you know, in the industry, and like he was so good at everything he did, and I think like that was just a smart song to use because it does resonate a lot with a lot of people. And I just like kept watching the trailer because I just wanted to hear the song over and over again, because it was just so good the way they blended it with No Woman No Cry, and I wonderful, just tugged on my heartstrings.
I'm guessing if he's doing the music supervision again, that was his idea, right?
I have to assume really, TDE, his whole crew is like, they're excellent at doing that, and I have to assume he's doing Black Panther 2, the soundtrack for Black Panther 2. So I hope so anyway, because the first one is so good. I still listen to that soundtrack.
Real good. Yeah, and again, I think you're right, Nate. If they have an Oscar for trailer acting, and Sylvester may be the first winner in that category. And yeah, again, I think like, because I just was thinking like they could have done so many things wrong, or just wrong, like not like if they'd started the trailer with, oh, Atlanteans are invading again, oh, some Marvel Universe shit is happening, that would have served the purpose of being a Marvel trailer, but it would have been just disrespectful and out of touch with the moment. And so they just wonderfully started with just faces of people who we know as either characters or as actors or just people. And what they're doing is so, you know, out of context, so plainly just, you know what's going on. They're mourning a lost friend, family member. And then it cuts to all the plot stuff. I just thought that was just kind of remarkably done. Like, good job, Coogler. So as far as walking all these tightropes, it gave confidence that he's like, I was like, no, I've got a plan for all this.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up, I don't know if this might be a long discussion at some point. I feel it is very ambitious to bring Atlantis out in this form, in modeled after Aztec culture and, you know, Latin American culture, all that stuff. Obviously, you know that one of the great things about Black Panther was it did this fusion thing with, you know, African motifs and Black American motifs fused with the science fiction thing. So cool. And you know, I do think it's very ambitious to try to do that with Latin American culture. We'll see, eh?
Yeah, but I do think that we knew it was coming because of was it Endgame or Infinity War, that when they're all like on the call, and he's and Oki, that's her name, right? Diana
Okoye.
she was the one on the call and
Yes,
said, well,
earthquakes.
there's earthquakes in the
Yes,
waters,
indeed,
and she's
earthquakes.
like,
Mm.
it's kind of troubling. And then Natasha's like, well, if it actually becomes something, we'll worry about it. We don't need to worry about it right now. So that's obvious. That was your little like, they're coming. So yeah, definitely. I feel like someone is gonna discover, like we saw Atlantis, and it's gonna cause some issues. And Neymar he starts off as a big asshole, so he might. I don't know. I feel like he might be the one who killed T'Challa.
No.
Oh man,
If they do that, there's no redemption for him. Like I thought about it, Brittany.
Yeah.
If they
I feel like
this
that
can't
would
be
start a
like,
whole
Well,
can of
because
worms.
he stabbed T'Challa in the comics. And
yeah, but no, he
I'm
can't be
just
that
like,
guy,
he
Brittany.
might,
But to Tom's point about the cultural blending of the, I think that if they have a good team of people who are like, indigenous, native to the, because they're so culture should keep that alive. That if they had that involved in the cast, just like they did with blending of various Western African cultures with with Wakanda, I think that they could do that in a way that's respectful. It is a little bit. I know that they avoided doing that with Aquaman and his Polynesian culture to a certain extent because it's a little bit more sensitive. And if you're not going to go all the way and do it right, then don't do it at all. So I would hope like the Marvel team did their research and like actually brought people onto the team that will, give respect. And because if you're gonna take parts of especially a long dead culture, then that people are trying to keep alive now, then you have to bring in those people, because like it's a little bit different with West Africa. There's still hundreds of countries and like cities and tribes that like they can pull from in Africa that are still alive and thriving. But the Aztecan culture is, which I think it's interesting that it's representing Atlantis, is representing that in the universe, because Atlantis is sunk underneath the sea, so people don't believe they exist. So I think it's a cool way to blend those two. I just hope they do it in a respectful way, which I have to assume after the many call outs they've gotten over shows and stuff like that and movies, that they will be do a better job. Because this Marvel, I was like surprised at how in depth it got with Islamic culture and the partition and India and Pakistan and all that stuff. I was like, man, they really nailed this. I was learning stuff about shit that I didn't know. And so I think that they've learned their lessons somewhere along the way to actually bring in people and not just have white people tell these stories, because they're not their stories to tell, and you're definitely not gonna do it right. And we're still struggling with that a little bit on both comic sides, but I think Marvel's doing a really good job of rectifying that.
And Black Panther, I was talking about this earlier today with a friend. Like, we can't underplay like how important that first film was, right? Because if not for that, and if not for that movie making all the money in the world, I'm not saying we don't get Shang-Chi or Miss Marvel or the introduction of Namor in this film, but it takes so much longer.
Yeah.
Because of the economy of Hollywood. So yeah, like this, I think that might be one of the big legacies of this franchise, is that it opened the doors for a lot of people.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah.
Sure. And yeah, because I mean, among the other great things about the cultural fusion thing that they did in the design and the whole world of Wakanda literally was really a new thing. Like it just landed and was successful. Sorry. But I'm glad you brought up the Atlantis thing, because circling back to the DC part of stuff, because like it's one of the sick, like I'm anxious about the representation part of it, but I feel like it's a really great idea to do Atlantis in this Aztecan frame. It's a really, really great idea. Just the question is how ambitious it is. Because like for me, like, okay, the thing that keeps Aquaman from being like a really good movie, and for me it's just kind of like a 3, is because like Atlantis is always a little boring, like it's sort of based on like Roman Greek designs, so everything, and it's just not that exciting a world.
Which makes sense, because I think they were trying to stay true to what if Atlantis is real, it's sunk off of Mesopotamia or Greece.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
Which makes sense.
That's what we think of it as being. Yes.
But Young Justice did Atlantis so much better. Like the new season of Young Justice did like this. It was like city states and all these different Poseidonus and like all these different city states that had to like that were basically had voting. It was like a very political, cool way to do it. And watching that and then going back to Aquaman, it was very paper thin the way the culture was represented. And I get it because they were just like introducing Aquaman, but they could have done so much more with Atlantis and Aquaman. And instead of having it be like generically mostly white people, and the some of the effects were cool. Like I love seeing armored sharks. Never gonna get over that ever. Like it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen in a movie. But there it was. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't as colorful and it wasn't as detailed as I already can tell from a 2-minute trailer, and 30 seconds out of that trailer was just like I could already tell that Marvel's Atlantis is going to be so much more intricate. Like they're gonna blow Aquaman out of the water in terms of that. I already know. Like I can tell.
Which is not their ultimate goal, but they're always a goal. They're there, a side mission.
They're always, you know. It's
I always feel bad when like that happens, because then it gets other people who don't actually read the comics or watch some of the other shows. They're always in this mindset of, well, DC kind of just sucks. And it's like, no, there are great things from DC. It's just you have certain people who are fumbling
DC killed on queer representation. Marvel is still working on that. That's my biggest thing. DC kills on queer representation. But yeah, I agree. It does feed into the DC Marvel's better than DC. It's like, well, no, corporate. That's mostly corporate getting in the way. The comic books to me are on the same level. Like I don't think any of them are better than the other. It just depends on what you like. But I do think that Marvel has a bigger damn budget. Disney is like $1 billion company and is not in turmoil and getting sold every other year. So that is having understanding helps me stay away from like, I mean, I do shade Marvel quite a bit, but that's mostly because I'm punching up. Okay. Punching up. So if you're talking about DC, you're punching down because DC is still struggling. Okay.
Man. Right, I think you just punched them further down somehow by formulating it that way.
We're the underdogs, damn it.
Boys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The Hard Knock Life.